Hi, boys and girls. Thanks for coming to Story Circle with me. I have a question for you today. Are you a bee? This is a story by Judy Allen and Tudor Humphreys. We've heard some of these stories before this year, haven't we? Found out that you're not a firefly, you're not an ant, you're not a butterfly or a ladybug, but are you a bee? Are you a bee? Perhaps you are a honeybee. If so, your mother is a queen. She looks like this, and she lays eggs. Your life began inside one of her eggs. When you hatch, you are not a pretty sight. You are a larva. You are in a small room with 6 walls. It's called a cell. Your older sisters bring food. Eat it and grow. Grow until you fill your cell. One of your older sisters puts a wax ceiling on your cell. Inside your closed cell, you change a lot. When you are ready, chew a hole in the ceiling and climb out. Now you look like a bee. You have a hairy body with stripes, 6 legs, and 4 wings. You have 2 feelers, antennae on your head. You have a stinger. You are not alone. You have a few hundred brothers and thousands of sisters. You live in a nest built by your older sisters. Your nest might be in a hollow tree. It might hang down from a tree branch. Most likely, it will be inside a hive, a beehive that a beekeeper would provide for you. Your brothers are drones. They don't do much. You and your sisters are workers. You do everything. You clean the nest, feed the larva, take care of the queen, and build new cells. You fan the nest with your wings to keep it cool in the summer. You guard the nest to keep out strange bees. Busy, busy, busy. Leave the nest to fetch food from flowers. How will you know where to look? Your sisters will make up a dance to tell you. Watch the dance carefully. Don't worry, you'll understand it. You're a bee. There is a sweet liquid in flowers. It's called nectar, and it's hidden deep inside. This is not a problem. You have a long tongue. You can reach it. You also have a special stomach to carry it in. You'll get pollen dust all over you. Scrape it off with your front legs and put it in the pollen baskets on your back legs. Look at this, boys and girls. What kind of flower is that? It looks to me like an iris flower. When you get home, your sisters will help you put the nectar and the pollen into storage cells. Mix some of the nectar with pollen to make bee bread. Leave the rest of the nectar to turn into honey. Bee bread is good to eat. So is honey. If you find a new patch of flowers, be sure to tell your sisters. How? Well, dance, of course. More eggs hatch. More larvae turn into bees. The nest gets very crowded. What will happen next? The old queen, your mother, leaves. She takes you and a lot of your sisters with her. Deep in the nest, a royal larva is hatching. She's in a different kind of cell, and she is fed rich food called royal jelly. When she becomes a bee, she's a young queen. She flies away and mates with drones from another nest so that she can lay eggs. When she flies home again, she will be the new queen. Fly with your sisters. Follow the old queen. Stay together. You are part of a swarm. When the queen stops, swarm around her. Now you must build a new nest. But where? Maybe the queen will send scout bees to find a good place. Or maybe a beekeeper will find you and take you all to an empty hive. Why is the beekeeper dressed like this? In case you get flustered and try to sting. However, if your mother looks a little like this or this or this, you are not a bee. You are a human child. You do not have a hairy body with stripes on it. You do not have a long tongue, a proboscis. You do not have a stinger. It's very unlikely that you have hundreds of brothers and thousands of sisters. But you can do a lot of things that a bee can't do. You can still eat bread and honey, but you'll never have to fetch your food from flowers. Best of all, you don't have to be busy, busy, busy all day long. Here are some interesting facts about bees. Did you know bees are happy to live in a hive because the beekeeper has already built part of the nest for them? If bees live in a hollow tree, they have to build the whole nest themselves. Did you know a worker bee can sting only once and then it dies? But a queen bee can sting many times. Did you know bees carry pollen from flower to flower on their furry bodies? The pollen from one flower rubs off onto others and makes seeds, which will grow into new plants. Of course, we know that is called pollination. Did you know the average worker bee makes 1.5 teaspoons of honey in her lifetime? Oh, my goodness, such a lot of work for such a tiny amount of honey. Ask Mom and Dad to show you how much honey that is. Thank you so much for coming to Story Circle with me today.